car is a 1991 Mazda Miata that I bought about a year ago. It was a salvage title, kind of beat up, but it ran and drove sort of. I spent some time tuning it up, enjoying it. It was first rear-wheel drive car, and the first thing I had that could be even remotely considered a sports car. The turbocharger is off of a Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4. I believe it's the rear turbo. I chose it because it's small and it would make the minor power that I was going for. Chose the power output kind of on a whim, thinking that it'd be easy to do cheaply and it would make the Miata not quite as much of a dog. It makes 7 psi, an estimated, 150 horsepower or so, I'm not sure on torque. I based the design of the system sort of off the old Jackson Racing supercharging systems back from when the NA was a new car. It had 5 to 7 psi with a rising rate fuel pressure regulator and spark and a timing retardation device. I didn't have a timing retard, so I just set it to 7 degrees base and let it go from there. Whole build minus the car, I probably spent around $500 on the entire turbo kit. The thought here was to do it as ghetto as possible without looking like complete garbage, but not using a mega squirt or blow off valve or intercooler, the stuff that people generally think is completely required for any kind of forced induction, even a really mild one. And I just kind of set out to prove that you could make mild gains on an absolute shoestring budget without all the big buck necessary items. The whole car is just kind of a big screw you to people who hate on Band-Aids. What I did was kind of the Band-Aid solution with the rising rate fuel pressure regulator and that sort of thing. Anything not using a mega squirt is generally frowned upon in the Turbo Miata community. The car was never going to be perfect. I should stop trying to make it perfect because I had some grand scheme in my head of, a flawless 1991 Miata just as it came from the factory that was never going to happen. So to that point, I figured it can't get much worse. Let's turbocharge it on an absolutely ridiculous budget. And so I did. The car's fun. It actually drives surprisingly well. The only problems with it, really, are a slight tendency to overheat given the way that the cooling system of the Miata is designed, and it ran rich all the time because of the larger injectors, and the stock computer wasn't a huge fan of that. Overall, I'd say it was a pretty successful build, honestly. It's one of the first builds that I could actually call completed, and I sold it off. I didn't blow it up or anything. That's a huge win. Daily drove it for a little while with the 7 pounds of boost. Honestly, it didn't give me so much as a hiccup when I had it. It was fantastic. I loved every minute of it. I'm kind of sad that it's gone, but now I can use the money to go on to other things. I've got my 2002 Special Edition set in the garage, just waiting for me to do absolutely nothing to it because it's my daily and I don't want to mess it up. But maybe sometime down the line I'll get on and I'll have space and money and I'll do some other sort of crazy, stupid, cheap, by the seat of our pants build like this. It was certainly fun to do when I was able to get the funds to do it.